Hello YouTube, TB back with you again, and today I'd like to talk about some miscellaneous things that I take when I go backpacking, because your trip is always going to be based on where you're going, how long you're going to be out. So I have a lot of items that I choose from when I put my kit together in my backpack to go out and do a trip. So I'd like to show you a few extra items sometimes that I carry, some I carry all the time. But anyway, stick with me, get past the intro, and I'll let you check that out. Well, one of the first items you need is something, if you've been in the military or around the military, you know what is called an entrenching tool. And that's going to be used for toiletry and things like that, digging a fire hole, a hole for your fire pit, things like that. But you need an entrenching tool. Now, I'm not going to carry a full-size shovel, hanging on the side of my backpack, but you can use something as simple as just a little trowel, a little garden trowel. And these work very well. They're plastic, cost you about $6 or $8. At your local hardware store, wherever, but they work well. You can dig a hole with this. You can use the restroom in the morning, in the afternoon, whenever you need to, and then you can fill that hole back up and cover it, and that's going to keep the area sanitary, and it's going to keep it clean for the next camper that comes into that campsite or that area, and that's very important. So you need some type of entrenching tool to use. Now, what I normally carry is a little bit heavier, but it's made by Gerber, and this is a small shovel and works very well. You just open it and you screw this nut up to the top, and there you go. You're good to go. And this will also flip over sideways, so you can use it to dig with if you want to, like that, with your hand, or you can just use it like a normal shovel, and dig your hole or whatever you need, for your campsite. Comes in very handy, very cheap, not the lightest thing in the world, but it's not very heavy. And you just put it in this little pouch and you stick it in your backpack. Now, you guys that have watched my previous videos have also seen me talk about saws. So I'm just going to give you a quick run of my saws that I choose between when I go out backpacking. One is my Corona saw. This will cost you between $17 and $20. Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, everybody sells them. These are called pruning saws. And a 3-inch to possibly a 4-inch branch you can take down pretty quick with this, or carve up pretty quick for firewood. They work really well. You got to be careful with them because they're extremely sharp. And the strange thing about them is, it took me a little bit to get used to it when I first got it, was when you push it, it doesn't cut. It's when you pull it that it cuts. So after you use it a few times, you get used to that, and you can cut up logs for firewood, or to help build a shelter, anything like that, really easy. Like I said, if you've also seen my video on saws, you've seen this. This is an Agawa Canyon Saw from Canada, from Ontario. And these are very good saws, but they cost you about $60. Cool thing about these is, any blade that you go to your hardware store and buy that's 21 inches long will fit the Agawa Canyon Saw. So depending on what you're cutting, you base that on what blade you put in your saw. For me, I use what I call the wilderness blade, because I'm out in the backcountry, and you just flip it around and you hook it on the bottom and fold it. It locks in place. Now you got yourself a super saw. Like I said, this has got the super rugged blade on it for wilderness use. And this will take a 6 or an 8-inch tree down, like hot butter. I mean, this thing really cuts. It's super sharp. Be careful. don't hit yourself with this blade, because it's going to cut you up pretty bad if you do. But anyway, just be careful, but they're great saws, they're very sturdy and good to use. I've used this one for a couple of years now, and it works great. And you just pop it loose at the bottom, and you flip it over at the top. Fold your blade down, and you put it in its little carrying slot there. Close the handle over it, and then it's actually, I've got a little sleeve that fits over the bottom of this, so I put it in my backpack, and that sleeve holds it at the bottom, and then a strap holds it at the top. So, you know, I'm good as far as cutting any kinds of wood and stuff like that. Now, for, you know, sometimes, rarely, but occasionally, depending on where I'm going, if I'm going into a very, very wooded area, I might have to chop some branches down, things like that, to set my camp up. So, I carry a hatchet. This is also a Gerber. Costs you about $20. They come in very handy. They work really well. Pretty sharp, you know, definitely sharp. But got to be careful with a hatchet. You know, make sure you keep your fingers and your everything out of the way when you're chopping wood, or you're chopping down branches and stuff. Just be careful with it when you use it, and the more you use it, the more you get used to it. But anyway, they come in really handy, just like I said. Different tools based on the camp of the area where you're going that you're going to have to take with you. So these are just extra items I keep, around in my kit at the house, and then before I go backpacking or out into the woods or the forest and whatnot, then I put my kit together based on the trip that I'm going to do. So that's how I put my kits together for what I'm going out there to do. Now, if I'm going out there for a week or 2 weeks, then I'm going to take a little bit more gear than normally because I'm going to be out there longer. But these are just a few miscellaneous items that I also have that I add to my backpacking kit when I go. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So please click on like and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.